Today we're going to do this broccoli cheese casserole. I really like this recipe. It's evolved over the years from various other broccoli cheese casseroles that I've tried. So I've added little pieces here and there, and I really like where it's at now. So let me show you what all I've got in it. So we've got some instant rice that goes into it. It's kind of the kind that is ready in 5 minutes, like minute rice. We've got a can of cream of chicken condensed soup and a can of cream of mushroom condensed soup, an egg, and this luncheon meat. This is the equivalent of a Spam. You can certainly use ham if you don't like Spam, but I kind of like the Spam actually. It's pretty good and it's a whole lot less expensive than actual ham, so I just go ahead and use that. And then we've got of course, our broccoli. This is one head of broccoli, or you could just use a couple of bags of frozen broccoli, like a couple of 10-ounce bags of frozen broccoli. I've got a medium onion and some cheddar cheese here, and we're probably going to use maybe a little over a third of that bag. We won't use the whole bag there. That bag's 32 ounces. I think we're probably going to use about maybe 12 to 15 ounces or so. And then lastly, we're going to sprinkle some French fried onions on the top of it. Okay, let's get started. I forgot to mention this guy when I had all the ingredients laid out there just a few minutes ago, this little jalapeno here, so we'll seed that and add that in also a little bit later on. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is just break up this broccoli and cut it up into little more manageable pieces. So we're going to chop it up into some smaller pieces here to be able to go into that casserole really easily. About like that. Okay, I've got my broccoli chopped up into pretty small little pieces here. So next we're going to go ahead and chop up the onion into some pieces that are about that same size. Okay, let's just chop off that little ugly piece there. And we're just going to give this just a real rough chop so these pieces are still fairly large. About like that. And let me get the other half of it here too. And we'll get rid of the little root end here. Okay, so this is chopped up enough. Next we're going to just kind of separate these little layers, and we're going to saute these onions for about 5 minutes in about a tablespoon of butter. And we'll go ahead and stir these around for about 5 minutes or so. Okay, these have been sauteing here for about 5 minutes over medium heat, and they're starting to get translucent and they're softened up pretty good, so I think that's about all we want for now. I'm going to go ahead and take these off the heat and just throw them in the same bowl that I've got the broccoli. Okay, so into this bowl goes the onions. Let's go ahead and add our condensed soups also. I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of water to this also. And let's give this a good stir. Next we're going to add 2 to 3 cups of this instant rice. Let's just make it an even 2.5 cups just to split the difference. There's 2, and I'm just going to eyeball the 1/2 cup here. This doesn't have to be precise at all. Next we'll add approximately 12 ounces of this cheddar cheese. Again, this doesn't have to be precise at all. I'm just eyeballing it. Based on, this is a 32-ounce bag, I'm going to use a little over a third of it. let's beat up that egg and we'll add that in there too. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and cut up my Spam into just some little chunks, little diced up chunks. And we're just going to do it just no specific way, just cut some slices and then cut some more slices and cube it up. Okay, there's our Spam that's all cubed up there, so let's go ahead and add that in. And let's give that a good stir. Now we're trying to combine all the stuff we've added in there, all the rice and all the onions and broccoli and Spam and cheese. Okay, let's swap places with the bowl and the cutting board again, and I'm going to cut up that jalapeno pepper. And we'll just take the seeds out here. Okay, that looks pretty chopped up here. Let's go ahead and add that in. Okay, this is the point where you really want to season it up pretty good. I like to use this Greek seasoning here, but you could just use salt and pepper or any other kind of seasoning you've got. You almost want to have it over salted because all that rice in there is really going to absorb all the salt. So I'm going to add at least a good teaspoon and a half here of this Greek seasoning. And let's give that a good stir. So now I want to grease this casserole dish with some little bit of butter, and we'll pour this mixture in there. And I'm just going to use my fingers to do this. Okay, so now we're just going to pour the whole ball of wax in there. Okay, now I want to cover this with a piece of foil so it can bake in the oven for the first 30 minutes covered. And then after the first 30 minutes is over, we'll take that foil off and just let it continue to bake the rest of the time. But before I stick this on there, I want to give it a good spray with some kitchen spray here, just to keep it from sticking to that casserole. And we'll tighten that down. Okay, this is ready to go into a 350 degree oven for 30 minutes, and then we'll let it continue in there for about another 20 minutes after we pull the foil off. And when we pull the foil off, we'll add some cheese and some of those French fried onions that you saw at the beginning of the video. Okay, it's been in the oven for 30 minutes now. We're going to pull this top off. We're going to pull this foil off and put some cheese on it. So I'm just going to go with about another oh, half cup to a cup of cheese just to kind of sprinkle on the top here. And it's probably good enough for the cheese. Next, we're going to sprinkle some of these French fried onions on there. Again, maybe about a half a cup to a cup of these French fried onions. Okay, and we're going to put that back in the oven now for another 20 minutes without the foil cover. Okay, we are done. And I'm going to try to get it into this container here. There we go. And it is hot and bubbly, and it smells good, and it looks real hot. So here in a second, I'll let it cool down for a minute, and then we'll dig into it, and I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. Okay, this has come out of the oven, and looks good. It's still bubbling. I think we're going to let it cool a little bit first, and then take a look and see what it looks like on the inside. Okay, this has stopped bubbling, so let's kind of dive into it here and see what it looks like. Okay, looks pretty good. It's all soft, and rice is cooked, and broccoli's cooked. It's very cheesy. I think that's what's going to be dinner tonight. Thanks for watching.